Who are you and what do you do?
Go for it.
All right. So I'm Lane Klastow. This is my wife, Heidi, and we are a franchise consulting team. We actually got involved with consulting because we purchased a franchise in 2013 and successfully ran it for the last 11 years, 12 years now. We actually love franchising so much. We bought a second franchise about 6 months ago called Shrunk 3D. So we're running that as well. And now that we're happily running our business, making things happen, we decided we should give back and let other people know they can do the same thing we did. So that's kind of what we're doing now. I went to the University of Arizona, got my degree in engineering, and started out kind of my life in the corporate world. Did that for 17 years, and now we're all in with franchising.
Oh, man, and you jumping the gun on all of my questions, but we still gonna make it work. I try to prepare y'all beforehand, and then when I prepare people, they say, no. I want to, it's all good, though, but I like that because what you're doing is, it seems like you're very proactive, and the way somebody does one thing is the way that they do everything. What's something that you know now that you wish you knew when you first started in the franchising realm?
That's a great question. I wish we would have hired a franchise consultant the first time around. We didn't. And I don't think we bought the right franchise. We actually ended up selling that franchise. It was called Senior Helpers. We sold them and then just kind of started our own brand. And we're running, it's called Care for All now. And so now we're running our own thing, Care for All. But when we hired a franchise consultant the second time around, it was a better experience. We got more exposure to brands we never heard of. We saw things that we didn't think we'd even want to be a part of that we were like, wow, maybe we could be successful at this. And eventually we went all the way to where like, we want to be in a mobile, we want a mobile franchise. And so then they were able to show us a bunch of different mobile franchises. And now we love it. Like yesterday we were at Moms and Mimosas for Mother's Day, had the trailer out there, had the kids out there, and got to just hang out and have our business running and celebrate Mother's Day at the same time.
Okay, yeah. Happy belated Mother's Day, Heidi. So
Thank you.
You're welcome. Because it sounds like what you're saying is don't be a potential franchisee shouldn't be so sure of what they want that they won't and accept nothing better. Heidi, how was it for you? Because was it one of those things to where I believe in Lane. Lane says we should go this way, and then as the roller coaster ride goes, you're saying, "Hold on, let's make sure we check out the height limit of this ride first."
Yes, that's definitely true. I liked being a part of it, though. Also, I mean, obviously, we needed a good fit for us, being that we have small kids, and I like the mobile. What he was saying about the first franchise and what we would do differently is we had to have a brick and mortar with our first franchise. And in the 10 years that we were a part of that franchise, we never even had any clients come to our brick and mortar location. So now kind of seeing what we're doing now, we love the mobile aspect of it, that we can just pull it up to events and, run our business that way, I think is a better fit for us overall. And it's not as expensive, obviously, as well. So.
Oh, yeah. A lot of those brick and mortar situations, like, there's a lot of things that traditionally is sound and true. However, as we evolve and progress, you don't have to necessarily have a brick and mortar location to provide the best service to your customers. And I'm imagining your brick and mortar location probably locked you in, for at least 5 years, maybe?
Yeah, it was a long lease. It was very expensive and we didn't need it. I run Care for All out of my home because I'm mobile also. I go to our client's home to meet with them, or I'm meeting with caregivers at even like a Starbucks for a quick meeting. So there's no need for us to have a brick and mortar with that business, and no need for us to have a brick and mortar with B as well. So.
Oh yeah, because that business model, because care is in the name. And all truths are parallel. What's typically true and workable for one thing is true and workable for another. And one of those true things is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And it sounds like y'all have a business model that not only are you showing how much you care to one of our most important people, senior citizens, because I think one of the caveats to that business model that you have is you get to learn from somebody who's been through it all, right? You learn essentially nothing from victories, but you learn everything from failures. And I love talking to people who are 50, 60 plus years old because they failed more than most, and they can impart that knowledge. So those what you're learning, how are you applying it to franchise consulting?
I also have a little bit of a background. So I was in the medical field before we bought into our first franchise. And I actually was a consultant for doctors who wanted to open up their own med spa. So like leave the ER and open up a med spa. This was like at the height of like the med spas booming. So I really like to look back on that experience that I had as well, because I was really helping these doctors do everything from find a location to hire staff to decide which products to sell in their offices. So I loved consulting for doctors. And now we've loved helping people with the Care for All. We learn from our own kids now that we're parents, and then into our newest franchise venture. You know, we're kind of just tying everything together. Work harder, work harder, but not necessarily work ourselves to the bones.
Oh yeah, work harder. Don't work smarter, not harder, right? And I actually
work smarter.
I work with a lot of doctors too in what I do, and they're an interesting bunch, right? But once they trust you, they would, because being in that role, you have to have that air of confidence, right? But once they trust you, that's when they let you in on, hey, I might be doctor smart, but when it comes to
they're intimidating.
Yeah. But once they feel that, okay, I can trust this person with knowing that, all right, I'm a human too. I might be doctor smart, but I'm not, necessarily business structure smart. I'm not necessarily franchise smart. I'm not necessarily finances smart. Lane, what about your past that you're bringing? Because I know I'm not going to discount running franchises, right? But I know before everybody get into franchising, there was some specialized knowledge that we brought into the game. What was your specialized knowledge that you brought into the game?
Well, I guess you could say kind of what I used to go back to is sports, right? I was a big sports guy. So I'm a big team. I'm a team guy. I'm a leader. Having a playbook is important to me. That's kind of what I bring to the table, right? I bring that team building mentality to the table. So I have that leadership. And then I've always since I was young, I've always just wanted to have businesses. I had, as a kid, I had businesses. I grew up wanting that. Business was always just something that I just was drawn to. And, I've failed as many times as we succeeded. We've had 6 businesses now, 3 of them failed. And we've learned a ton from those. And we were able to apply those failures to the new businesses as well. I've had so much exposure, especially with the FCC now. I got 400 different franchises that I have all the information from, and I just read through them every night because I just enjoy it. It's fun to look at them, the different business models and how they run their business and what they can offer. And I can share that with all my clients now. And I can share them, not just kind of like, here's the business, but where you're at, this is the right business for you. Like, what I'll go through their area, I'll see what's missing, what could be added to that area. You look at just everything that it's like buying a home too. You got to find the right home in the right area for you. And that's what I can do as far as franchises. And then I also have the corporate training and background, coming from a huge company, Fortune 500 company, just learning how to run a business with them is the same way I'll run a business with my clients, very professional. Lot of work in the background that I can then share with them, so they're not doing a bunch of the work themselves. I'll spend the hours of time digging through all these different businesses, and I'll present them, 4 or 5 great opportunities, and then they can really dig into those 4 or 5. And if they don't like them, we'll figure out why, and we'll find 4 or 5 new businesses for them to look at. So just all the different opportunities, the successes, the failures we've had over the last 12 years of running our business is what we're really going to help bring to the table for our clients.
And I love the healthy relationship that us business owners have with failure, right? Because some people try to hide that they've ever failed at anything. We say it almost proudly, like it's like a smile on our face. Yeah, I had 3 businesses that failed in the past, and we're smiling because we know that made us extra smart, right? And all truths are parallel. Like I said, it seems like what you're saying is you're taking the standard operating procedure from a bigger company, and then you're taking the nectar and you're boiling it down to where it's workable in these smaller companies. Because even though these franchisees are tied to successful franchisors, which is going to increase their chances of being successful, but what they are still, they're going to be their own little small business inside of that ecosystem. It's the same as somebody who's doing graphic design. It's better to make your image big so that when you shrink it down, it's not pixelated. It's better to turn your volume up high because it's better to have something too loud that you have to turn down than something that's too low that you can't turn up. It seems like what you, Lane, and you, Heidi, are doing, you're taking all of this experience, you're taking all of this care, you're taking all of these failures, you're taking all of the standard operating procedures that you learned from S&P 500 companies, and you bringing it straight into the living room, to the kitchen table of these franchisees who, once again, they don't know what they don't know until they know it. And then even then, the more they know, the more they don't know.
Yeah. Well, and Randolph, too, we have 2 different perspectives, right? We got the female perspective and the male perspective that we're going to combine into one as well. So it doesn't matter who we're talking to. We kind of have everything covered, in our opinion. So we're really happy about this little venture we're doing together as a team. We love being married. We love hanging out. And so just to spend more time together is also great for us as well. You know, it really
is good. I mean, that's a good sound bite, man. Hey, Lane, whenever we're together, you can tell me all the terrible things that she does, right? I'm just joking. All right. So here's the $1 million question, because y'all are bringing so much knowledge to these people. How much do you charge for your services?
Well, that's the great thing, right? We charge nothing, absolutely free. What we provide for them is just so much information, but we get paid by the franchisors. And the franchisors can't do anything about changing the price, right? It's just part of the deal. It's like a real estate agent. So we provide the service. We help them find the right franchise. We work them all the way through the process and let them, buy that franchise. And then we get paid through the franchisors, and they pay us nothing. So it's a free service.
Oh, yeah. And I like, because you mentioned homes earlier. Some people, they can't wrap their mind, just like some people can't wrap their minds why we're so excited to talk about where we failed at. They also maybe couldn't wrap their minds about how we're able to do all of this, bring all this value to them at no cost out of their pocket. And I think the best way to describe it is it's just like a real estate agent. The buyer technically isn't paying for the services of the real estate agent. It's the seller that once the money comes, that percentage comes out to help that pay for that realtor that probably helped that buyer make the best purchase possible.
That's right. Yep. Just like that. It's that simple.
All right. Is there nothing? Go ahead. What you about to say, Lane, before I cut you off?
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
Okay. Is there nothing that I didn't ask you that I should have?
I think you did a really good job. We talked about kind of everything we were hoping to talk about. So you did a great job, Randolph. Great questions, man. I love the energy.
Oh man, I love your compliments, man. Hold on. I wish I could put it in a bottle and sell it. Lane, Heidi, thank you so much. And just in case somebody wants to work with y'all, once again, introduce both yourselves and how they can get in touch.
Sounds great. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
So I'm Lane Klastow with the FCC. Mm-hmm. It's my wife, Heidi Klastow. You can find us on LinkedIn. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram. Just type in our names, Lane Klastow and Heidi Klastow.
How you spell Klastow?
Klastow. There
you go. I almost forgot how to spell his last name because he's thinking so much about you franchisees and franchisors. All right, man. Appreciate the time. Thank you for sharing this knowledge with people. And I'm pretty sure you're going to find a lot of people that's going to want to look and bring in your services.
We're looking forward to it. Thanks, Randolph.
All right.